witches, we take our hats off to you. Magic is everywhere.
Oh my God, that is so funny. These little hats.
We didn't plan this. Leslie already had these amazing hat decorations up, and when we sat down, we couldn't help but notice, does it look like we're wearing them? So thank you for sharing in our silliness.
Yes, and thanks to Jim Canfield for buying these in the random Aldi aisle.
Oh my God, I love that
Always
aisle.
the best stuff, so.
Talk about magic.
I know it.
We're back, you guys! Yay! It feels good to be here, Leslie.
Yes. This really feels like Wayne's World.
Oh, it does.
Here on this couch.
It does. Love that. Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. So good.
What a wonderful time to rejoin and come to you with some information and some ways to celebrate the darker months, starting with Samhain.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Around the corner.
Dude.
We're recording this on October 20th. The new moon is tomorrow, so we are 11 days away.
Yeah. Crazy.
How magical. The 11 days of Halloween.
We've already started getting into some spooky.
Because you guys love it.
We love Halloween. Adam loves decorating, so we've already had, the skeletons are out all year round, but, jazzing them up. I've been making some homemade decorations, which got ruined in the rain.
Oh, no!
Yeah, but it's okay. It was still fun to make it, and many can be made, so I'm not going to cry over a
melted witch.
Soggy witch.
Turns out they do melt. When they
do
get wet.
melt. Her neck was like broken.
Sir.
Yeah, and just watching horror movies. I've been baking, kind of getting into the baking vibe. So I made some pumpkin spice biscotti and some chocolate almond biscotti.
Oh, wow.
So that has been fun. And yeah, just starting to prepare, you know? What about you?
Yeah. We are also big fans. We have this thing where we do every night of October, we try and watch a scary movie.
Love that.
And I would say the last few years we've kind of started to come up with themes. And this year's theme is like borderline ridiculous, like 80s movies. And we've also noticed 80s, 90s. I would say almost 90s, but we've had this like alien theme.
Oh my gosh.
Like Slither, and then we watched The Faculty.
Oh my God, The Faculty!
The Faculty with Josh Hartnett.
Yes!
1997.
Wild.
And there was another one that we're like, what is this? Because The Faculty and...
Did you say Species?
No.
Do you remember that?
Subspecies?
It was just called Species.
No. Okay.
Kind of the same, and something gets inside this lady, and she's like an alien person now.
Yeah.
Just remember, it was like one of the first times I saw boobs in a movie, and I was like, this is cool.
Valley Girl was the first time I saw boobs in a movie.
Cool.
And I was like,
this is cool.
Boobs are awesome. Boobs are so awesome.
They are.
God for boobs. But anyway, we had this like common like alien Slither and Faculty, and there's one other one. I can't believe my brain has been just mush.
Tremors?
No, but that's a great one.
Very good. We should maybe have a spin-off movie podcast.
Oh, for sure. for sure, because there have been so many good ones. And then I watched one the other night, which was really awesome, Time Stalker, which I highly recommend.
Cool.
It's really cool in terms of like reincarnation. It's kind of a twist on like a romantic sort of comedy. So I highly recommend it.
Cool.
But yeah, so, and then when we lived in Erie, we would always have a Halloween party.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to dressing up for sure.
Yeah.
And you've also been doing a lot of markets. It's market season, y'all. I'm sure you noticed. So you've been hot on the trail.
Hot on the trail. Yep. I'm going to be doing Witchburg this Saturday and Sunday down on the Strip.
So fun.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get this out and ready to go before then. So maybe Thursday I can get this up. Here's hoping.
Yay!
We're in that Mercury's shadow. We just went into Mercury's shadow this morning, today. And then it goes retrograde, I think like the November 5th. And they're predicting a bit of a doozy this time with Mercury. There's a lot of because it's a Scorpio Sag retrograde. So we enter it in Scorpio season and we exit it in Sagittarius season.
Okay.
So there's some big water, fire, temperance, rebirth stuff happening, death and rebirth happening in this next Mercury retrograde portal. So that'll be interesting.
Sounds intense.
Yeah.
You just hit all the key words that are
whoa!
Wow.
This is what I've been doing in my serious downtime is just,
I love it,
watching
dude.
all this astrology stuff. I'm eating it up.
So cool. I love that you're doing it because I find it very interesting. And, I feel like we all have those niches, right? Like I'm at home listening to plants and I love that Leslie's where she is, listening to the stars because we don't have time to learn everything.
Right.
So it's so nice to get nourished by your friends. Don't forget to share your interests and your knowledge with the people that you enjoy spending time with because that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and and it's when we have the brain space.
Yeah.
I unloading, having the shop and holding the energy and for all of that. And now it's I can kind of pour back into myself a little bit, which I've been doing. Should I just talk about what I've been doing?
I think you should.
So I've been trying to create structure and discipline in this downtime. And one of the things is I've been investing in taking classes, which has been really fun. And I've taken a couple classes with Karen Crisis, who's one of my most favorite teacher, practitioners, authors, all sorts of, and trance channeling as well. And I've been doing this omphalos. Listen, can you hear her?
Yeah.
Honey, we're in here. Come on, Kiki. Come on. Goldie's making
Singing.
a lot of noise. She's, yes, darling, we're right here.
Come on,
Did
honey.
you come up?
Come on, honey.
Did you come up?
Come on,
Yes,
honey.
you come. You come. Anyway, so with this omphalo, here she comes.
Good,
Yes, you come
honey.
and you come right
You
here.
come on now.
She's sniffing. That's Deb.
Hi,
That's
honey.
Deb.
I know. She's like, oh, I don't know you.
So anyway, yeah, I've been doing this. So the first thing that we have learned with Karen with the omphalos, which is divination, I think animist divination, because we started with leaves. And so I've just been hanging out with some leaves and branches and all the different ways of communicating with them and connecting with them. And I think her next offering will be with rocks, like pebbles and
So
stones from
cool.
outside. Maybe not necessarily like a crystal, but more go down to the river, go out to the beach, go to the lake, find a stone that speaks to you, or maybe even a shell. But it's been awesome.
I love that.
And so I've just been pouring back into myself and creating structure and discipline and feeding my brain. Hey, speaking of, Jim, what was the other movie besides The Faculty that was like Slither? Do you remember the name of it?
Did we watch it?
Yeah, our brains are both mush. Yeah, it was like
Well, this is why.
the thing that went in, the alien went in the body and they ingested it and then they became it. So there was, Slither was like it, The Faculty, and there's one other one. We don't have, if you remember it, holler back at us. Okay.
I thought you guys were recording, and I'm like,
We're recording.
We are.
oh.
Raw and real.
Anyway, that's my brain gets stuck on one thing and can't move past it. Look at this girl. She's like, yeah.
Ah, baby.
She's so good. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to? You've been up to a lot.
Well, before we transition on to me, I would just like to say how proud I am of you continuing your education. I don't think that we should ever forget that, we are constantly able to keep learning.
Oh yeah.
And it always is inspiring to me because I look at Leslie as an established practitioner of healing and magic and channeling, and for someone at her status to seek further education is always inspiring because I'm like, wow, she's already very powerful and knowledgeable. How cool.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you.
Of course, girl. Yes, honey.
I'm
Yes,
blushing.
honey.
But it's true, and that's like you.
It's a reminder.
And that was one of my promises to myself during this time, and one of the reasons why I've taken this break, because I'm like, I don't know what else to share. Like, what else am I've got to learn some new things here.
So cool.
And that, I've said before, that came through a vision when I did one of the workshop connections that I did. When people come in, we do a visual meditation, and then I'd take you to a special place, maybe one of the little astral field trips that I would do. But my great grandmother came, she'd come sit down by the fire, and she drew a spiral in my hand, and she was like, it's time to get back to the books.
Wow. So cool. And you're receiving the messages and putting it into action, which is something we'll talk about later as well.
Yep.
Over here, like I said, it's been a busy summer, so excited to transition into fall, slowing things down a bit. Also trying to always be continuing my education and learning and experiences. I shamelessly brought one of my offerings as we start getting into our Samhain episode. I had curated this box that I thought would be thoughtful for starting to get into the darker times before we delve into shadow work and maybe some more serious personal workings of magic and reflective thought. It would be nice to come in prepared. So I curated this box with hopes that it would bring that, thank you. Yeah. That feeling of readiness and preparedness to enter in. So you can see we have a bunch of nice items here. We have some Florida water. We have a tea blend. We have a mugwort body oil infused with crystals. Ooh. We have a mullein torch.
Get it up there close. You guys got to see how beautiful Deb's labels are.
Aw, thank you. Medusa, of course, on the Florida water. Protective, cleansing water. A beautiful body oil, that can just be a really nice daily ritual that you start to do. And then we have a lavender mugwort eye pillow.
I love these.
So everything has mugwort in it. Everything is meant to connect you to your intuition, connect you into that dreaming world, connect you to the spirits as the veil thins. I just want everybody to feel, protected, cleansed, and ready for what's ahead. Rested.
Resourced.
Yes. Resources.
Get everybody resourced right now to make sure that we've got what we need.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah. So if you like these, you can get in touch on Heavy Herbals or We Are Witches or wherever you watch the stuff.
That's
and just,
awesome.
find me. Hee.
Well, what else? You've also, you embarked on a pretty incredible tour.
I embarked on a tour to Europe with my band. It's called Lady Beast. We're 80s style heavy metal music. And it was such an amazing experience that left me feeling very fulfilled and confident and, very also connected to magic due to the fact that I, for months, did preparation leading up to the trip, leading up to the shows that involved, spell work, meditation, constant practice, a lot of devotion, and it paid off. And, to be honest, I very rarely feel these extreme strong connections. It's only happened a couple times. And I left that trip feeling very connected to my magic, very connected to Hecate, and so excited to just get back into you know, resourcing, sourcing, magic, everything.
Yes.
So that was so fun.
Congrats on that. That's a big.
Thank you.
That's a big important chunk of time.
Yeah,
Really
it was
cool.
awesome. It was really cool. So again, just seeing how dedication and also doing the things physically for myself, my tinctures, you know, taking really good care of myself, helped. But it's always cool to see magic in action. So happy to share that magic is real.
It is.
And we're going to talk about some ways that you can enjoy some magic moments and some just like very honest connective moments during this time of the year. You know, there's a lot of partying, there's a lot of laughter and goofy silliness, but this is a pretty serious time of the year as well. We get very rare opportunities to communicate and to do things during this time of the year that we don't get to do throughout the rest. So it's pretty special.
Yeah, I agree. I love this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, share with us what you got, Deb.
All right, well, we'll do a little information. Y'all know I like notes. So Samhain, spelled like Samhain, pronounced Samhain. Celtic word. Normally takes place between October 31st and November 1st. You know, I feel like everything is on the cusp of an eve, right?
I love an eve.
I love the cusp of an eve.
I love an eve.
I know.
The anticipation of an eve is so exciting.
Dude, it really is. I do love a morning too.
Yeah, I hear you.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
I hear you.
Magic can be done anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Eve is good. And it celebrates the end of the harvest. So this is our third harvest festival.
Yep.
So we had Mabon, we had Lunasa, maybe not in that order. And then we have Samhain, which is our third and final harvest festival, which means the beginning of winter will be upon us, the dark, the cold. The veil between the realms of the living and dead is the thinnest right now. And it's a time of intimate reconnection with our dead and with our spirits, our ancestors. I always like to remind people, and we'll get into that when we talk about some ancestor altars, but don't get hung up if you don't know who your ancestors are. There's a lot of there's been a lot of back and forth and, adoption and different circumstances of life. And, I say never get caught up on not knowing where you're from or who your people are. You can send out the vibes, you can send out the energy, you can use the word ancestors, you can use the word spirits, and it's still getting where it needs to go.
Yeah, we all come from a family.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Maybe not always, sometimes not a chosen family, sometimes a chosen family. We don't choose our family, so.
No doubt. I always love sharing a couple funny things and past, kind of superstitions about the holiday. People actually used to wear masks and disguises on Halloweens to avoid ghosts and evil spirits.
Like to blend in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was not like this thing, technically, I'm sure they had fun doing it, but it wasn't this trick or treat moment. It was, people knew there was a spooky element of the season, of the time, I don't know if they knew the veil was thin or if they just felt it.
It's how do you get to that point? What occurred that people were like, dude, you know what
Put on
we
this
need to
mask.
do? I think we need to look like these spirits. To
Yes. Blend in.
Oh my gosh, what went down?
It's so funny. And the treat part comes from people leaving treats out for spirits as offerings to keep them also out of the house.
Happy.
Away, yes, appeased. So it's kind of funny just thinking about where all these traditions are. People obviously using fire all night to keep evil spirits away. So yeah, that's always just kind of funny to think about back in the day. There are some really cool ideas, ways to celebrate the holiday. You can have a bonfire. You can do divination. We were talking about shadow work. We can talk about scrying. I feel like people love doing that type of work around this time of the year.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was divining and scrying with my hot cocoa the other night.
Yo, I love
and
that.
I was getting some deep messages.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's out there, you can do it. Just get creative.
That's so fun.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that because we were talking about
oh my God, yes.
areas we'll get into, yeah.
Definitely. We'll come back to that. You can drink mugwort tea to connect in dreams. I love the box. You can sit under hawthorn trees and thank her for her protection and her harvest in the berries. Hawthorn's been coming up a lot. Hawthorn is in my Florida water.
I just dressed a candle with some hawthorn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, hawthorn is the best.
Yep. Allison got me into hawthorn.
Aw, same.
Like a heart protector.
Heart protector, yep. And also just like a boundary setter.
Yeah.
She has thorns on her. I love taking the thorns and carving into candles.
Oh, good call.
I put a bunch of thorns in my Florida water when I was like brewing it up. Because I'm
cool.
more of like a physical, metaphorical, like witchery.
Yeah.
So I love being like, thorns, yes, of course, I'll use this for protection.
Yeah.
Or like boundaries,
Yeah.
you know, the physicalities of, the items. And then you can set up an altar. You know, I love an altar. So on my altar, there'll be antlers, feathers, snakeskin. Again, I love the visual connection to the energetic purposes of animals and plants. The antlers, because we just saw a stag outside right before we started. That is just the season right now.
Goldie's boyfriend.
Again, protection, boundaries, feathers. I just feel like they help your spells just fly on the wind.
Oh, and there's been like, when I've been hiking out back, some turkey feathers.
Yes.
They're so beautiful. And I saw one and I thought, oh, I'll come back for it on the way back home. And I blew away.
Wow.
And I had a dream about it like 3 nights later.
That's crazy.
Freaking turkey feathers following me around. I love it.
That's so cool. Remember when we did our altar outside, we were wondering where to do it. And then I started setting up and there was that feather there.
Yep.
And we were like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yes.
Feathers everywhere. So some decor. We have marigolds, acorns, pine cones, garlic, evergreen, leaves, pomegranates, apples. Like, it can be as simple as just the things you see around you. Like, we don't need to be spending money, vast amounts on decorating our altars. Like, I love just spending that time going outside and just foraging a couple things, maybe leaving some hair behind, or a little offering, just to, again, have that energy in the home, that appreciation, like you being like a little squirrel, foraging outside for like your items, you know?
Yep.
Crystals, lapis lazuli, hematite, jet, and tourmaline. So we have a lot of like dark vibes going on there.
I love jet.
Me too. Colors, black, orange, and purple. And herbs, we have hawthorn, mugwort, rosemary, cinnamon, sage, and cloves. Again, think about, the spices that you ingest and you smell during these times. Like, whatever calls to you is right for you to have on your altar.
Yep.
So I hope you get a little inspiration from that and, come up with something fun.
Love it.
Kind of in the vein of altars, we wanted to talk about ancestor altars because, again, the veil is thin. It is the time to reconnect.
Yep.
It's the time to show appreciation, to show remembrance, and to show honor. And what better way to do that than constructing an altar and having that out, whether it's public or private. And what we like to say is feeding it during this time of the year. And who knows, maybe you'll continue to do it all year round because it is a nice way to venerate the dead. And
yeah, it's in, and I, I was somebody that didn't have an altar for a long time, and then always will, like from this moment forward, always have an altar, because I can feel the distinction,
Yep.
It's clear to me.
And I have many altars. So you can, I have traveling ones, I have outside ones, I have inside ones, I have ones that are specifically for goddesses that don't. So your ancestor altar should be maybe its own altar if you choose. And it's specifically designed for your past family and ancestors that you know of and you do not know. So connecting to that deep lineage awakens and guides our lives in a way. It helps you achieve a deeper wisdom, because at the end of the day, these people just want to help you succeed and be your best and live your best life. I feel like we're constantly receiving messages in life that we don't know how to access until you hit certain points of awareness or perspective shifts. And sometimes it could be your ancestors helping you get there. So if you do make an ancestor altar, it will be interesting to just kind of pay attention a little bit more to those signs. But it allows the connection to be easier during this time, like we said. And there's something very powerful about just remembering.
Absolutely. And just get like this, like my whole dining room is pretty much dedicated to my ancestors and my loved ones that have passed on. And I mean, it's like I'm here, you've passed the baton to me, I'm ready to sort of like inherit what you couldn't. It's kind of a weird thing to say, like inherit what you couldn't finish, but something that my nephew and I have been talking a lot about, and we kind of talked about it too, is breaking cycles or being the cycle breaker in your family. And I mean, sometimes there can be a couple of you in your immediate family. I think, like, as an example, with my brother, sister, and I, there's no doubt that we're all doing our own part to break some cycles in our family. But I do kind of believe there's one sibling that really raises their hand, and then of course if you're an only child, but that one sibling that really comes forward and says, I'm going to be the one that like wants to break these cycles, and more than likely that was something that was decided before you came down.
Yeah.
But my nephew seems to be the one in his family that's like really has raised his hand to kind of be the cycle breaker. So we've been talking about what that looks like in your ancestral line. Like even things that I may not be able to totally complete, Derek might complete for me, my nephew, who kind of is raising his hand to this. But the way that it's kind of been presented to me is I've noticed how many really like bad habits I've quit in my life, like ways that I've already shown up breaking cycles in this lifeline. And then I start to see, well, this is something that is actually being broken down throughout this lineage, like throughout my family lineage. So it's just kind of interesting to pay attention, and then to have an altar set up that's like, I'm here, I'm present, let's communicate, here's what, here help me work on this one thing that I see as a pattern in my family that needs to be healed.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. And how nice you get to share that together and guide each other and like.
And I recognize that's very lucky, because not a lot of people have that. Like,
for sure.
Families are difficult. Families are difficult, so.
For sure. Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. I love that, thinking about cycle breaking.
Oh yeah, but this whole period of time too, it's like, and it almost kind of feels like when the veil is thinnest, that like maybe like if you think about breaking a cycle as a layer of ice, maybe that like layer is thinner too, that it's easier to break through.
Crazy.
Which is why it's a period of time to do all the shadow work.
Yeah,
because it's more tangible and accessible to see.
For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I love that your altar is also on the table, because a big part of ancestor altars is sometimes like offering food and liquids and things that they like. So it's just so nice to think about you and maybe some guests eating around the table, and also just giving that form of life, maybe offering a little food there. And Yeah, so that's really fun.
So another really great ancestor tradition around Samhain, and I'm put you on the spot and ask you if you've ever done this, is a dumb supper.
Dumb supper. Oh, leaving a plate out.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's true for a lot of traditions and cultures.
For
and,
sure.
You know, like religious traditions. But yeah, so putting a little plate of food out for them. Now, there's that, and then there's a dumb supper where it's actually like a whole meal.
Wow.
Silent.
Wow.
Which
I would be down to try that.
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Matt, who is a dear sweet friend and worked at the shop on Sundays, Matt would always he worked with another shop that would host a dumb supper celebration. Yeah, and everybody would bring food and it would just be completely in silent, and you'd put out, you know, you'd kind of your place setting next to you would be for your ancestor.
I love that.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. That is really cool.
But you can also achieve that, you know, I mean, placing a meal out for your loved one.
For sure.
Just like, you know, candy for, right, and the butter for the, and cream for the fae.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of beer,
Remembered.
some coffee.
Yeah.
You know, people leave
Yeah.
cigarettes, cigars, chocolates,
Yes.
you know. It's so funny that we're even talking about this because, like, chicken noodle soup was like the staple growing up. Like, anytime we were sick, my great aunts would make it. My great aunts were basically my dad's mom that like took care of us because my grandma died before I was born. And so it's like these 4 sisters, you know, and all the time on certain days, if it's either a hard day, and it won't hit me until after I've already made it, but like I made chicken noodle soup before I left the house today because Adam was having a hard day, you know, and we had both gotten ingredients to make it, you know, so we put it together, and I just always forget. And like, it's not till after I'm like, oh my God, the aunties were there.
Oh, I love that.
You know, and they come through and they just guide me to make the soup. And like, I'm not even thinking about it, you know, but it's like, what brings the comfort? What brings the, you know, and then I even told Adam like, hey, like you can make the noodles, you know, if you don't want to wait, or I'll make the noodles when I get home. And he's like, it just tastes better when you make the noodles. You know, and I was like, I get it. Yeah, they do. It does. So don't forget, like, you know, even cooking some of your old time favorite, you know, little treats and snacks or soups from your past loved ones will fill you with that joy and also help honor them. Yeah, and I think that was all I had for that, which is kind of nice, you know?
Awesome.
It's kind of like you celebrate how you want, you know, but there's some nice little guidelines.
Seriously, and that's it. You know, you make your own traditions, you celebrate how you want. I think that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. And you know, like you and Adam have your traditions. Jim and I have our traditions. He surprised me last year.
Oh, I know.
In New Orleans, because he was like, we've never missed a Halloween together, and I'm not going to let this be the first time that it happened. So he surprised me. Oh my God. What a wonderful romantic thing.
Crazy. It was hard keeping that secret because I fed the
cats. Oh my God.
Not that I have a hard time keeping secrets.
Oh my God.
Please. I am a very good secret keeper.
Yes,
but
I believe it.
It was like, oh my God, she's going to be so excited.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about messages.
We're going to talk about messages.
We wanted to talk a little bit to you guys. We kind of mentioned it before, but now's going to be a really good time, and any time is a really good time to try to get in tune and receive messages. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a lot of different ways to do that, a lot of different ways I do it, and it comes and goes.